Hello and welcome to another episode of Blizzard Warning. Sorry we missed you guys last week. I'm Scott Cole. That's Jenna Chavez. We are back again. We both had some issues last week. I was recovering from a cold. I feel much better this week. Jenna, how you doing?
You sound better. I'm doing much better.
That is awesome to hear. I see we upgraded from the car from last time, but
We're not in a car today.
All right, guys. Again, welcome to the show. Remember, if you are using StreamYard on Facebook, please give permission so that we know who we're talking to if you decide to comment on us. If you're joining us over on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. And welcome to our show. So we've missed quite a bit. I think we've missed, 4 games since the last time we were on? So we had the Carolina game. Yeah, 2 losses, 2 wins. We had the Carolina game, which is the only game we saw the Hurricanes here in Denver. We still got our East Coast game against them. We had a 3-game road trip, took on the New York Islanders, won that game 7-4. Then we had some significant losses, that happened.
The injury bug has struck early.
So we've heard 2 consecutive 4-0 shutout losses, 1 to Pittsburgh, which was that game, we'll get into both games, and then another 4-0 loss on this past Sunday against Buffalo, which struck me as odd. It's like, hey NHL, let's go throw a game and fight with the NFL for Sunday views. That was, I don't know what they were doing there.
And it was an 11 o'clock game. It was so dumb.
1 p.m. on the East Coast for all our Avs fans who were out that way and everything. It was just an odd game. But let's get into these games that we did miss. The Carolina game. This was a game where I believe the final score was 6-4 in that game.
Yeah.
And this was a battle between 2 teams that were presented as co-contender, co-favorites beginning of the year for the Stanley Cup this year. Unfortunately, Carolina's been dealing with some goalie injuries again, so they're relying on their backup. So, but they came out, they fought hard, they really took it to the Avs and put up a solid fight. I mean, looking at those scores again, like I said, it was I believe that game was 6-4. If I'm correct on that.
I believe so.
6-4 I think is what the final score was on that one. But that was quite the game. I really enjoyed it. We saw Logan O'Connor continue his streak with the shorthanded goals and everything. It was
I love Logan O'Connor.
Kind of nice. And I don't know who this commenter is, but we'll get to it in a little bit. They were talking about our starting goaltender for tonight.
Our goaltender.
But we'll get into that. The New York Islanders game was great. The Pittsburgh game, the two shutout games is where I really want to dig into things. And Pittsburgh really took it to us in that first period. They really came out swinging, swung for the fences, and just disrupted anything the Avs were trying to do. I know a lot of fans are starting to wonder. We're only 8 games in, so let's we'll tone it down a little bit.
And first 6 were on the road, is that correct?
First 3 on the road, then 2 at home, and then another 3 on the road. So, and then we're back home for a game, and then we'll be back in I think we're in Vegas on Saturday. So another couple more games on the road, and then I think we have a 3-game homestand, and then 2 more. So it's a big mix. I don't think we see our first back-to-back series until the end of this month. It is November, by the way, everybody. So welcome to November. It's officially first month of hockey's in the books there. So Pittsburgh was a tough game, but a lot of people are talking about what happened in Buffalo. Was it a hit? Was it not a hit on Cale Makar? What are your feelings on that, Jenna?
Well, so I've watched it from like every angle that you can possibly watch it from, I think. And I've watched it so many times. He does and I know I'm gonna piss Avs fans off because I don't think it was a dirty hit. Like it wasn't enough contact to send Makar into the boards like he went.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And Cale Makar even came out and said that. He's like, I kind of skated into that in the wrong way and with a lot of speed.
Right before it happened, the announcers even said he went into that with not enough force. That Makar didn't go into it with enough speed. Is what even the announcers were talking about.
Yeah.
And Cale has said the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Cale's like, I take a lot of responsibility for how I approached it, the angle I took, and it's a split-second decision and everything. Mm-hmm. I think with his speed, the angles that I saw of it, you saw his stick kind of come up and look like he cross-checked him a little bit, but it was like right on the rear end right there. But I don't think that was enough force to kind of push Cale into the boards right there. But
not as violently as he went in.
Yeah. But my question in regards to this is, I like to play devil's advocate just a smidge.
You got to.
There's 2 things to look at it this way. Cale Makar was the cover athlete for NHL 24, which it's a big deal. It's a big honor for a lot of fans, for players in general and everything. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, when you're doing something like that, you're putting somebody on the cover that is the face of the NHL. So do you feel like, knowing that Cale Makar is growing into this role as an NHL superstar and everything like that, do you feel like refs should have just thrown it up and been like, hey, that's a 2-minute penalty. We're going to look at it.
When Brady got older, the flags in for late hits more and more.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's how Cale's such a purist. He would be mad if that's how the refs did it.
I'm not saying they're trying to treat him dirty or anything. I'm just saying, you protect your stars, and it seems, and a lot of Avs fans feel that way, that the Avs players don't get protected as much as some of these East Coast players or players on other teams that do. So it really is, what do you want to, how you want to look at it. I mean, it's a little different in some places, but I do have some people. I've seen on a lot of books and a lot of pages and everything, and across Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Is it time to panic? People are freaking out that we've lost 2 consecutive games in shutout fashion. And all of a sudden, the sky is falling. We went 6-0, lost 2 games. We're back at home. is Georgiev not the guy? Is he getting too much time in the net? Is it, when's Francois going to be back? Who's going to back him up? Is that person going to get the start? What's going on here? Do you feel it is time? Is it time to panic, or are there issues that can be addressed?
I don't think it's time to panic yet. Bednar did change up the lines tonight, though. The lines are way different tonight. Hold on. We have.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Drouin and Tomas Tatar are sitting tonight.
Lykinen, McKinnon, and Rantanen on top.
Miles Wood getting
Johansson, Achuskin, and Tufti. Sorry, that was not right.
Riley Tuft. Is getting the start on the second line, and I think Logan O'Connor got bumped up to the third line tonight.
Third line,
as what we saw at practice.
Wood and Colton.
Yeah, Wood and Colton, which means we should see Cogliano. Who's centering that fourth line for them is
Cogliano, Tatar, Druhan, Olofsson.
Fredrik Olofsson should be centering that fourth line.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting he's there. He's been pretty solid for us and everything, so I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing here. It's not time to panic, people. We're only 8 games in the season. There are 74 more games to go.
And
if you really want to get, and you're in first place. You're 12.
The Central.
Yeah, 12 points, leading the Central Division by a point right now. Dallas is playing tonight. I think you've got 4 teams in play. Dallas, us, the Blues, and the Coyotes are all playing tonight. So we'll see how that looks out. But we'll get into the standings a little bit more. I do have them there. It's not time to panic. Like I said, most times people don't start kind of measuring a team and where they're at until after Thanksgiving dinner. So you wake up Friday, you do your Black Friday shopping. You're like, all right, what's going on in hockey? Let's scroll and let's see who's standing where. A lot of people, Nathan McKinnon, right or wrong, for stepping up and arguing with the refs in that situation. He's doing his job as a leader. 100%.
Yes, 100%. I will agree with you 100%. But he has got to know when to just, okay, you've said what you're gonna say, and the refs have made their decision. We've already lost one player, and now you're gonna take another one of our players just because you can't shut up. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but you gotta just learn to. You said what you needed to say. It didn't need to keep going, and he got kind of what he deserved. And it hurt the team.
He got a unsportsmanlike conduct for 2 minutes. He said something nasty to the refs.
He said something,
I don't know if the refs picked it up.
There was an F word involved.
There's an FU in there somewhere. I guarantee it, 100%. Yeah. But this is the side of McKinnon. This is that passionate side of McKinnon that comes out,
that we
wanting to protect his teammates and everything else. So. It was nice to see him step up in that sense, but he did take it a little too far. The refs were like, look, dude, it wasn't enough contact to warrant anything else, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of get it from his point. Even with how fast Makar skates and everything, like that can be used against him. And all it takes is a little nudge. I mean, you're skating on some pretty thin blades right there, and just one wrong cut's gonna one wrong turn's gonna send you to the ice and crash into the boards like that. Earlier today, the team did have a meeting as a team, players, coaches, everybody got together. They had a meeting. They talked about things, and they recognized there's some chemistry issues. There's some stuff going on. They really want to. March is about 4 months away. Plenty of hockey to play. 100%.
Exactly.
It is a long season, 82 games. There's plenty to worry about. We're 8 games in. We're on top. We're on top of the division.
Yeah.
The goal during the regular season, stay on top of your division. That's all you want. Yeah. Avs are there right now. So I agree with this. Our
power play has got to improve, though. Our power play has got to improve.
Yes. Power play, penalty kill.
Our PK is killing it, actually.
Yeah.
Our PK is at 93.8%.
93.8. That's good for, I think, top 5
power
right now.
play is 18.8.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. You
That's
want it
rough.
more. I'd want us to be more closer to the 21-22% range right there.
Mm-hmm.
A more, quarter of your power play success is really good for a team in general. But my big issue, my big concern with the team is, and this is something they addressed in the team meeting as well, is like people knowing their roles, people knowing what's expected of them. Don't try to go out there and overexert yourself. Don't go out there and try to
Be something
push.
you're not.
Don't try to push it. We saw this happen in Buffalo. We saw Jack Johnson, who's a third line defenseman, try to carry the puck into the zone, and it led to a turnover, which led to a goal. I don't know who it was. It was the second period of the Buffalo game. Had Buffalo was on the penalty kill, and it was about 5-10 seconds left. I heard the sound go off. I think it was like a Legend of Zelda treasure chest opens up, and they get their player back. And I saw one of our players, instead of following the flow of the game and going back on defense, made a beeline for the bench, and it led to a 3-on-1, which unfortunately left Georgie out of position and led to another goal. So some chemistry issues, yes, I get it, but hopefully they address those issues tonight.
Well, and last year after team meetings, they were, I think, undefeated after team meetings last season. The team meetings seem to snap them into something.
You just look around and get your shit together, guys. You guys need to get your shit together, or there's no Snicker bars for anybody after this. Taking the sugar away again.
Milk. It's not sugar, it's the milk, Scott.
The milk.
Milk.
I still think one of my favorite stories was Matt Calvert when he was the team. He talks about them going to like Twin Peaks or something to do their to do their fantasy draft or whatever. And it's like Matt Calvert's first year with the team. And they're sitting there, and like everybody gets, everybody orders their food, and they're doing their draft. Everybody but everybody's got turkey burgers and sweet potato fries, and here's Matt Calvert with like a big double cheeseburger and like a beer.
And a beer. And he's like, this is like the proper way to do a fantasy football draft. He's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Health nut McKinnon.
This is the Nathan McKinnon draft, Calvert.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Scott, I had a friend give me so much shit about not knowing Calvert's name that first podcast.
Yeah,
so yeah. I got called out as well.
We both blanked on it. It happens to the best of us. It 100% happens. There is no anybody else behind the scenes, feeding this data or anything. This is us doing our research and just trying to present this as best as we possibly can. So if anybody wants to join the show and do some behind the scenes stuff for us, more than welcome to. This is Fan Ran, guys. This is just us as fans going out and doing things. So it helps us out.
That team meeting.
Yeah, right here. Team meeting
loss in Chicago that sent the Avs to a 20-17-3 record was what really turned their season around. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's
I want to go back to this, and I want to tell people: is it time to panic? No, but I also want to touch more on this. Look at who's behind the bench in Coach Jared Bednar. This is a guy who played his entire career in the minors, ECHL, AHL, everything like that.
Yeah.
And eventually retired from playing professionally and became a head coach. And he's won a championship trophy. He's the only coach to win a championship with the ECHL, the AHL, and the NHL. This guy knows his stuff.
Right.
This guy is amazing.
I had a client last week was an official
Uh,
on the ice when Bednar won his AHL. Did you lose me?
no, I had
Uh,
the cough, so I had to
okay.
mute my mic.
I
That's
was
all.
like, oh my gosh, please tell me you can still hear me. Yeah, no, he was on the ice when he won his AHL trophy. And he said he is a class act. He said he is a referee's favorite coach to have.
Yeah. He Bednar's so even keeled when he's on,
He is.
when he's behind the bench. I
He's
mean,
so
the
calm.
dude's just amazing. And my buddy Mike, Mike Herschel, he was with us during our first show, feeding us
Yeah.
data and stuff in the
He
comments.
called us out about Calvert.
Yeah, he did. So I was a season ticket holder before COVID. Unfortunately, I had to give up my tickets when the COVID seasons happened. KSC and their gouging and prices and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I love going to games. I absolutely love it. I love the environment there. But
No fun.
yeah, I wasn't a fan of how they handled trying to recoup their losses
This is
when
after
they opened up the stadium, the arenas back to fans again. So I gave up my tickets. But cool thing when you're a season ticket holder, they were doing meet and greets and stuff like that before COVID. I don't know if they've resumed a lot of those after COVID. But I actually got to play cornhole with Matt Calvert. That's why
Oh,
I got shit, was
fun.
because I played
You
cornhole with the
played?
guy.
That's cool.
They had a lot of stuff set up. You could do meet and greets. You could do photos and everything. I got photos with I think McKinnon and Rantanen, and a lot of other things. So, but Bednar was there, and Mike talked to him for an extended period of time, and it was like shooting the shit with your best friend. I mean,
I feel like
he's a
that's
pretty
just,
chill
yeah.
guy.
Everybody I've talked to that has interacted with him says that he'll sit and talk hockey with anybody, anytime.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and this person also brings up another good point. He's now the winningest coach in Avalanche history, Coach Jared Bednar,
Yeah.
and he
He hit that
continues to improve that
milestone
record.
last year.
Last season, yeah.
Him and Michael Malone both hit that milestone last season.
Mike Malone with the Nuggets. Nuggets are
With the
playing right
Nuggets.
now.
Nuggets are playing right now, and they're off to a
Nuggets,
great start too.
yeah, 4-0 so far to start their year. So let's take a look at the games we have coming up. The next 3 games that we have coming up, starting with tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight you have the St. Louis Blues in town. St. Louis Blues are currently sitting in
they're not doing
seventh
great.
place. Seventh
Yeah.
place. They got 7 points on the season so far. I don't know a lot about them.
3-1. 3-1.
3-1, 7 points. This is a rebuilding team. They've sold off a lot of their pieces over the last couple of years. I don't expect a ton from them, which brings up we are getting our first look at our backup goaltender tonight, Ivan Prosvetov, who is going to be starting in net in place of Alexander Georgiev, who gets a day off. An additional day off.
A well-deserved additional day off.
I mean, 8 consecutive starts for Georgiev. The last 4 games of those 8, not great as far as the goals against, allowing and even 4 goals per game over his last 4 games after letting up only 4 goals in the first 4 games.
4 games.
So it's kind of rough to see, but I don't place all that blame on Georgiev. Like I talked about earlier, there's some communication, some chemistry issues on the ice. People trying to go above and beyond their expected role within the organization, on the team and everything. So I firmly believe the team meeting last night, they will reset. We will take a look at what happens this month, and see how things go from there. There are 16 games this month. So we've got
busy month.
And our only back-to-back series, I think the first of 8 on this year is the 24th and 25th of this month. So get your Black Friday shopping done soon. because that game's at 6:30. That first game on Friday night, Black Friday, is at 6:30. But anyway, tonight, what are your expectations for the Avs tonight against the St. Louis Blues?
Okay, so we always, I no matter how bad the Blues are, I feel like we always sometimes I feel like sometimes we play down to the Blues for some reason. Don't know why we do that, but we do. We have a tendency to. But I did tell a friend that I had them pick. I had the Avs over the Blues by 2. He bet money on it, so I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm saying Avs by 2.
Avs by 2. I like that mark. I think that's a good mark. I think Avs find their way, get back on the winning side of thing. Rantanen, I'm going to pick Rantanen for a goal, and I am going to pick. Ooh, I'm going to pick somebody else for a goal, but it's not going to. I'm going to go with Miles Wood.
I'm going Taves.
She's going Devin Taves with a goal. I'm going Miles Wood. Miles Wood and Rantanen for a goal. I like the Avs by 2. I think that's a good mark to go off of.
Then do you think, because Coach said today that Byram or Makar might be back tonight, do you think we see either one of them tonight?
I don't know why Bowen Byram was out. Was his concussion, like concussion-like symptoms, or was it like a lower body injury?
He just said banged up. Was all that I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we all saw Makar get banged up pretty good.
Yeah. He just said that they are both really banged up, but that he expects one of them to play tonight. But we did call up Caleb Jones from the Eagles.
Yep, defenseman.
Yeah, he's a
I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance we might see Caleb Jones. If not tonight, maybe Saturday. We'll have to see. I got this person. I'm going for another shorty by LOC.
I like it. Another Logan O'Connor fan.
I love seeing the O'Connor love, man. This guy plays his heart out for the Avs. 100%.
And what he did against the Kraken in the first minute to get revenge for Cogliano, that is how it's done, gentlemen.
I think he's the only guy. He's the only guy in the Avs roster with fights right now.
Yeah. But McKinnon has 20 penalty minutes. Can we just talk about that for a second? 20 penalty minutes in 8 games.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot
of. That's his penalty minutes on average per season.
Well, the big thing is the game misconduct. That adds 10 minutes right there. So that's a little tough to deal with. So we both got the Avs winning tonight. With you said by 2. I picked 2 people for goals. I like the over 1.5. Over 1.5 goal spread
20
right there.
penalties for Mac Attack. I promise. I did my homework today.
He hasn't thrown a helmet at anybody this year yet, so.
That's true. Or broken any glass.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten too far yet, but we'll see what happens.
Nick says unacceptable. Yeah, well,
it is unacceptable from a leader, but
yeah, that's what we talked about in our first podcast, Scott. Is like, he has the A on his shirt. He needs to, like, you said what you needed to say. You got your point across. Now go play. And if you want to shut them up with how you play. Put some goals in the net.
You can't go up to a ref and just tell him to go screw himself over and over again. Eventually, he's going to toss you off the ice for a little bit.
He's like, all right, go timeout, sir.
Yeah. All right. So we have an away game on Saturday. They are in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas happens first. So going in to take on the defending Stanley Cup champions on their home ice.
And they are playing like defending Stanley Cup champions.
They are indeed.
And I'm sure that they'll want to have something to prove against the Avs, considering that Peyton Manning went and ran his mouth about how we're letting him borrow the
We're
Stanley
just letting
Cup
you
for the
borrow.
season.
Here, you
I'm
guys
like,
hold on to this. We're gonna want it back. Don't dent it up too much because we're gonna want that
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Just keep Nicholas Aube-Kubel away from the cup. Period.
Right. Period. End of discussion. He's not allowed to even look at it.
As Jenna was saying, yeah, the Golden Knights are just on a
9
freaking
0 and
tear.
1.
9-0-1. That's
19
insane.
points.
19 points already. They lead all of the NHL. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Boston's right behind them. Nine games played, 8-0-1. I'm like,
Yeah.
please tell me Boston doesn't do this again. You know, what they did last year was impressive.
Yeah, but then they couldn't sustain it through the playoffs. So
Yeah, nah, that goaltending, that light load for their goaltenders, I think, kind of screwed them up a little bit. But it is what it is. But like I said, going in to take on Vegas, that's going to be a difficult game. So I think that's part of the reason why we're not seeing Georgie up tonight, is we want him to be rested, prepared,
rested.
and just as
And
alert as possible for that game on
I think
Saturday.
that's why we won't see. I don't think we'll see Makar tonight either. I think Makar is going to rest until Saturday.
Yeah, I would be happy to let Makar rest up, get healed up. Not.
There's no reason to rush
I'm
him
not
back.
banged up or anything. The Blues. I agree with you. This feels kind of like a trap game. Like we've always played down to St. Louis's level. The Avs need to come out, be the Avs that we know and love, and expect to be fast, decisive with the puck. Everybody plays to their strength. And I'll address this too right here from Caleb, who's joining us from our YouTube feed. Address that in just a moment, Caleb. But let Makar rest. Get everybody ready for that game again on Saturday,
against
and
Vegas.
then we'll touch on New Jersey coming into town.
Yeah.
Nick says, "I don't believe it. This whole trap game nonsense. We own the Blues." Yeah, you go back to that series we had in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Yes, 100%. That was a fantastic series and everything, and that was the last big run that the Blues had. But statistically speaking, this is yes, we have hashtag FKM and
right.
Screw Minnesota, get rid of those guys.
Yeah.
But if there's another team that is like just this bitter rivalry, it's St.
the Blues.
Louis. And it's because of one player. It's only because of one player, though.
Right. Right, O'Reilly.
No. Jordan Binnington.
Oh, yeah, Jordan Binnington. Ugh.
That jerk in net for the Blues.
The guy in net.
I hope they boo him like crazy tonight.
Oh, they
will.
will.
To hear it. I cannot wait to see it.
Av fans got to show up like Nuggets fans did against LeBron the other night. Who's your daddy?
Oh, man. Love it. All right, if you guys are going to the game, make it happen. Make it happen. Yeah, I hear you, Nick. I get you're not concerned. We'll let it be. Yeah, we all have our opinions, and like I said, this is a fan base a fan base show. Everybody has their opinions. I get it. I have no issue with that. But all right, next Tuesday, New Jersey comes to town.
Yes.
And that's part of our 3-game homes. The start of our 3-game homestand right there, bringing the Devils into town. This is Miles Wood's old team, so a little bit of a revenge game for him. I think he was just ready to go somewhere else and try something else, and he was a great pickup for the Avs. So he's one of my picks to score a goal tonight too. So hopefully we'll see something from that. Is there anything in the Vegas or Jersey game that really concerns you?
The only thing I feel like New Jersey has a lot on the line, considering that they're in the Metropolitan Division with the Rangers in Carolina. And if they have any hope of playoff ambitions, they need to keep getting points up because Carolina and the Rangers are putting points up.
Yeah, Nick's not worried about the Devils either, too, man.
Nick is just full of confidence.
He's like, we got this. You're not going to lose another game.
Nick thinks we're gonna go undefeated the rest
I
of the
love
season.
I love the confidence. I love the support for the Avs, man.
Yes.
100%, Nick. I want the Avs to win every single game that we possibly can. And Vegas goaltending has been solid for Vegas. Yeah, they might be solid for Vegas, but they are not solid for my fantasy teams, which is fucking the crap out of me. I actually dropped Aiden Hill, Caleb. So if you want to go get Aiden Hill, he's available in our fantasy league.
Run, Caleb, run.
I'll take Georgiev off your hands, or was it? I think Caleb has Georgiev on his team, so I'll take him off of me.
Right?
Anyway, Caleb reached out and said, Scott, I know you wrote in your article that Colorado has a little cap room. Do you foresee any moves that need to be made via trade? Right now, it is still too early to think about potential trades. He has Thomas. He's good. He doesn't need any other goaltenders. All right. I don't know. Personally, I don't think the Avs don't have any cap room right now. No. There is nothing available. The only reason they were able to go and sign Tomas Tatar and some of these other players is because Landeskog is out. If you look at the contract I just gave Devin Tays, that was an initial $3.75 million per year, and the projected cap is supposed to only go up by $4 million next year. So you've already spent all but $250,000 of that additional cap space right there. I will say this. If the Avs do make any moves, it's going to be for a veteran minimum player on another team somewhere, and it's going to be us trading somebody like Jonathan Drouin or Arturi Lehkonen, Andrew Cogliano, one of those guys that's on an expiring contract or on a one-year deal to re-sign a Jack Johnson or somebody like that they can trade away and it's basically just a player swap. You keep the same salaries and you just swap out players. Drouin was brought in here on an $885,000 deal for 1 year. It's a tryout deal with the Avs. He's got that chemistry with Nathan MacKinnon. Does it work out? We don't know. Drouin's not playing on the top line tonight. I personally thought it was a little too early to kind of pull him off that top line because I've seen some of this stuff. But I think Drouin has more chemistry with some of the other guys, and he's a veteran presence. So I could see him being moved down to the third or fourth line to kind of develop some more chemistry there and move somebody else who's actually performing well up onto that top line. So. To answer your question, Caleb, I don't see any moves that need to be made right now via trade. We might revisit that 3 months down, 2.5 months down the road, early January, end of January, beginning of February, before the trade deadline. But I see the Avs trying to stick it out with the team that they have and utilize some of their minor league players with the Eagles on the two-way contracts.
Yeah, I agree.
You have no idea, Jenna.
I know. I saw since day one at old McNichol. I remember Nick. I do remember McNichol's Arena. I saw a couple Avs games there myself. So.
Man, I'm jealous of you guys. McNichol's Arena was before my time. I did not. I'll be honest with you guys. I did not become a fan of the Avs until after their 2001 Stanley Cup run because I didn't move to Colorado until officially until 2002. I had been visiting since I was 7 years old. I was 14 in 2002 when I moved out here, but I didn't really know hockey. The hockey, was covered here and there, but my dad had an old Kamensky jersey in his closet and stuff, and he played a lot of NHL '94 on the SNES, but we never really talked about sports. Like my love and affinity for sports just kind of grew on its own accord, and the Avs didn't become a part of that until 2002. One of my first games I saw was stepfather watching. It was when I was in Kentucky. We were spending the night over there with him, and he's just chilling, sitting on the floor in the living room, this big TV, the dish or direct TV, whatever it was hooked up to it, and he was satellite feed of the Avalanche game, and I sat
Right.
down and watched it with him for a little bit, and I really enjoyed it. So I started digging in and researching and everything, and that's how I personally became an Avs fan. But it was after the glory years with the Sakic and everything. I caught the back end of Sakic
The
and
tail
Forsberg
end.
and everybody. So it was it was crazy. So first game Nick went to, they blew out the San Jose Sharks 12-2, December 5th in '95. 2 days before
1995.
Patrick Waugh and Mike Keane were acquired from the Canadiens.
Ah,
Yeah,
very
that
nice. Yeah,
Nick.
McNichols Arena, the old concrete
Yeah,
building.
I tell you what, man, the Avs have been fleecing teams since their
Day one.
since 95, 96, man. That Patrick Waugh and Mike Keane trade was just phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Pierre Lacroix working some magic, man. And then he
He
taught his
was,
magic ways to Joe Sakic, and Joe Sakic shared his magic ways with Chris McFarland, and they've just been
thank
fleecing
goodness.
teams left and right, man.
Thank
Uh,
goodness.
it is impressive to say the least.
It
All
is.
right, so that's about all I've got, man. This is
Oh
pretty
my
short show
God.
for us missing 2 weeks. I mean, we've gone through
I
everything.
know.
Uh,
Oh,
it,
I had something I wanted to ask you.
okay.
So, I have been. I expected Choo Choo to come out and be a little bit more, I don't know, looking a little more hockey ready, in shape. He's been a little slow. What are your thoughts?
Who's this?
Choo Choo, Nichushkin.
Nichushkin. Ah, yes.
I thought that
So
he would have come out wanting to silence the people, and I don't feel like he has.
I don't think he really needs to. Nichushkin has typically been a little slow to start at times, but when he's needed, when it's desperate and everything, he turns it on. I mean he could find his groove. It's going to be interesting. He's playing
I
with a
just,
new centerman
yeah.
and Ryan Johansson
Hmm.
and Arturi Lekkinen up there on the second line. I don't know how much playing time Arturi and Valeri have had with each other on the
Yeah.
ice as far as a line, but choo choo train. He's going to pull into the station again with this game. It's still early. He's right.
I
100%.
know
It
it's so
is.
early. It's just, I guess I just expected for him. It just didn't seem like he showed up in hockey shape.
So, I did see something else. Yeah, he may have not
Mm-hmm.
shown up in hockey shape, but
Not hockey shape.
that might have been in some off ice stuff going on. I mean,
Yeah, like we don't.
This is a Russian born player that we're talking about, and with the war in Ukraine and stuff still going on. I don't know if he goes home or if he was able to go home. So there might be some stress and some other things digging
Yeah,
into that. So I think once we get into the season, like a month or so, I think we'll start seeing some more of the Nichushkin we know and love show up and perform well.
I
Uh,
hope so.
so a bit of unfortunate news in the NHL world was the skate incident with
Adam Jones.
Adam. Was it
Is
Jones
that
or
his?
Johnson?
No,
I think
Johnson.
it's
Sorry,
Johnson.
It's Johnson.
With
That's
Adam
right.
Johnson, young player, 29.
29.
29 years old.
Drafted by Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, he was a Pittsburgh Penguin. I saw the video of this incident, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of disgusted with it. Uh, with what happened, it looked malicious,
That's the police.
and
The police are investigating it. You did know that, right?
yeah, it
Hmm.
looked malicious. If you guys have seen the video, I will tell anybody who watches this live feed or watches it back on the YouTube channel or anything, it looked very malicious. And uh, the the player in question that cut him with the skate, it he's had a history, and
Okay.
he's had a history of excessive penalty minutes and stuff like this. And
See, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of reading over it, so I didn't know a lot.
I've done some research. I saw a TikTok video. They were talking about his history. It's unfortunate that the gentleman in question that cut Adam is an African American player. And I've seen some people, oh, just because he's African American, blah blah blah, you're gonna call this black man out for this. That I'm not
has
going
nothing to do with it.
Has nothing to do with it. The way he played the game, the way this incident happened, was tragic beyond belief.
Yeah.
Which is leading leagues to address neck guards.
I was gonna say, I think that I have a feeling that after next year, anybody drafted after next year's draft class will be required, just like they're required to wear the visors now.
Yeah.
They're required to warm up with the helmets on. I think neck guards are going to be mandatory.
Well, the Western Hockey League, WHL, has already come out and made it a mandatory part of the uniform starting Friday.
Okay.
So officially Friday, Western Hockey League players will be required to wear neck guards as part of their gear to prevent incidents like this. I mean, there have been incidents throughout hockey history. I've seen goalies get cut and stuff like that.
I was just showing one of the girls that worked that goalie video from late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. Evander Kane got cut last year on his wrist, which was a big issue and stuff like that.
Kane.
And these incidents happen, and I fully expect
Landeskog.
Well, that's a knee, and that cut through a lot of stuff, and that's rough. The skates are sharp.
Why don't more players wear the guards? Do you know why it's not more commonly worn? That's what I think. I'm wondering if it's does it hinder their neck mobility to see?
It might hinder some of the neck movements and stuff like that, but I fully expect the junior leagues, AHL, stuff like that to implement it. The Quebec junior majors, I fully expect will implement neck guards. World juniors, I think, will implement neck guards.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL, I don't know. The KHL, probably not. A lot of the European, I guarantee a lot of the European leagues are going to talk about it and look at some things.
Yeah.
And depending on the investigation and what comes of it and whatnot, I fully expect this. I expect this issue to carry on for quite some time between the incident in general, which unfortunately caused the loss of life of Adam Johnson, but the other player involved, I don't know his name off the top of my head. And I don't want to give him any airtime if I don't have to.
No.
Specifically.
Right.
But I fully expect European leagues to look at this after the investigation is completed, and if there's any discipline, which I expect there will be for this individual.
If not criminal.
If not, fans are going to take care of it in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's already getting hate mail. The guy's getting hate mail, 100%.
I'm sure. And he's probably getting death threats.
He probably is, and I think he's trying to play the race card, but this had nothing to do with race, guys. Nothing at all. But anyway, we're going to move on from that. Prayers and thoughts go out to Adam Johnson, his family, his wife, everybody.
I think fiance.
I think it was. I think they were engaged. Beautiful couple.
My researcher behind me says it was his fiance.
Yeah.
They got engaged over the summer.
Oh man, that's so tragic.
No, it's so sad. It's very sad.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. It's awful.
But let's focus. We are about 45 minutes away from puck drop for the Avalanche tonight. They are back at home
on TNT. If anybody's wondering,
on TNT, yes, that is what I was gonna say. The upcoming schedule for the Avs is right here, this week's schedule. They are on TNT tonight, another national broadcasted game. Vegas Golden Knights, 8 p.m. on Altitude, because they are playing in Vegas, so it's going to be a late game for us here. It's just something we have to deal with. And then again, next Tuesday, New Jersey Devils, 8 p.m. because it's a national
TNT.
broadcast.
National broadcast. That's what happens when we're
Killing me.
good.
They are killing me with these freaking national
I
broadcasts.
know.
But hey, I don't know if Kenny Albert's calling the game or not, but I will say this. Anytime we're on TNT or anything else like that, I enjoy it because PK Subban is just a freaking national treasure as a analyst for TNT. I absolutely love him.
I like the guy that used to play for Toronto.
I have no
I
audio
can't
from you,
remember.
Jenna. We've lost you.
No.
I don't know what's going on there.
God, I don't know what's going on either.
Jenna's trying to get back to us. She's trying.
Lila, come help me.
But
I don't know. It says I'm not connected.
The national broadcast, yes, I know a lot of fans are upset with the times that they are on, but I will tell you this: the Avs are getting attention. I love it. And yes, I agree with Nick. He's another one of my. Nick says he's another one of my favorite two-sport play-by-play announcers. The other sport he does is football. Yeah, he's talking about Kenny Albert there. Kenny Albert's amazing. Joe Buck does football and baseball. So I'm a fan of Joe Buck personally, but that's just me. All right. Oh, that's a good bit of information right there from Nick. Kenny's son of the legendary announcer Marv Albert. That's going back some right there, but I look forward to.
All right, Scott, can you hear me now?
Our next show.
No. You sure can't.
There's a private chat tab there, Jenna. Type what you need to say, and I'll read it off. I got nothing. I'm getting some clicks and some beeps. That's about all I'm getting in my headset here. But I'm getting no audio whatsoever. It just died on her. She has no clue what's going on.
I got nothing.
Blame the aliens or radiation. I don't know.
They just
Blame
quit.
Something. Checking the score for you. Checking some stuff for you here. Looks like we will get into it. End of the second for the Sabres and Flyers. It's 2-2. That is the first game on TNT tonight. It is a doubleheader. Stars and Flames are in their first period over on the ESPN app. You can watch that on ESPN Plus. And the Coyotes and Ducks get started at 8 p.m., 30 minutes after us. They are the second game of the doubleheader on the ESPN Plus. And Avs Blues will be the second game of the doubleheader on TNT. Diamondbacks Rangers are playing is the bottom of the third. Bases loaded, no outs for the Diamondbacks right now. If you're looking to see if the Rangers can close out and get their first World Series title, go check that out. And the last thing I will check on is the Nuggets and Timberwolves. It is 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Nuggets are down 32-45 on the road to Minnesota. Hopefully the Nuggets bounce back and don't get their first L on the season. But I still don't have Jenna.
You cannot hear me. You cannot hear me at all.
Goddamn headphones.
I don't know what I have
yeah, Al Albert was the announcer for the Nuggets at Old Prime Cable Network. Holy crap. Ron Zappolo. Oh, man, that is... Dang it.
All
right. So that's going to do... Oh, wait. Did Jenna come back? I hear something.
Can you hear me?
No. I can hear you now. Look at that.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Yay. I can hear you now. So we got you back for a little bit. Okay.
I turned him off and turned him back on.
Okay. Cool. So we got that figured out.
Maybe next week we'll have the whole hour where I have sound, Scott. We'll work on it.
It is what it is. Bluetooth. I had to make sure my headset was charged and ready to go today. So they just been sitting on the charger all freaking day.
Okay, so mine been on a charger all day too, and still nothing.
Oh, technology. You got to love it sometimes. It's like they're just sitting there. It's like, hey, watch this stuff. I'm going to mess this one up real good.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer, guys. I got to go screw with somebody real quick. I'll be right back. So last thing before we get going, Jenna, did you do anything fun or exciting for Halloween?
Can you hear me okay? No. I handed out candy.
Okay, yeah. I slept all day because I work overnight. So I
Oh,
literally I
lucky.
literally got home from work. I played some NHL 24. I watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse because it came out. It was released on Netflix on Halloween, so I watched
Yes.
that, and then I slept literally the entire
Yep.
rest of Halloween away.
I I worked all day yesterday. We were not busy. And
Yeah.
then I went home and had passed out some candy, and that was about it.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure there were some hockey players and some Avs fans out there having a great time on Halloween. Uh,
Yeah.
man, that's one thing I didn't do today was go hit up the store and raid the sale candy.
Ooh, enjoy
Oh,
your mac and cheese with some chicken, Nick. That sounds amazing.
nice. Well, you enjoy that chicken neck. Enjoy that mac and cheese. It sounds delicious. You got about 30 minutes before the puck drops. I actually more like
30
40,
minutes. Yeah,
45. Probably a
45.
little bit more depending on how the previous game on TNT
Previous
goes.
game
So
goes.
I
Be
think you got
prepared
a
for
bit of
about
a
8
buffer.
o'clock. 8 o'clock
Yeah,
puck drop, guys. About 8 o'clock.
we're dropping this puck late. I feel it. It always
Oh,
happens
always.
to us.
It
That's
always
what it
happens.
always is.
And the best is when it's the playoffs and the game before us goes into overtime.
Yep. Always happens. All right,
Always,
guys.
always.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Hopefully, the Avs get 3 wins this next week. When we see you guys next Wednesday, we can cheer them on and then talk about the games after that and see what
Yeah.
else we come up with. If you guys
See how
haven't
our
checked me
goalie
out
looks.
over on Twitter X, you can check me out at at Den Poker Kid DenPKR Kid 007. I write over there some articles covering the Avs as well for Mile High Sticking. Check them out as well. Plenty of great articles there talking all things Colorado Avalanche. Nick, thank you for hanging out with us, my man.
Yeah, Nick.
Hopefully you join us next Wednesday. Bring some more peeps. Get them all here. We can all talk some trash to each other and talk Avs hockey right here
Yes.
on the Blizzard Warning live show. If you guys haven't, again, uh, feel free to check us out every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Rain or shine. I mean, most times I was
Most of
sick
the time.
last week. I had no voice last
Unless
week,
we're
guys.
sick.
I'm not a professional. I was not going to come in here and be like, I wasn't going to do it. All right. For for Jenna Chavez and myself, I'm Scott Cole. Thank you guys for joining us. We are going to see you guys this same time next week. You guys have a great night, and we will see you next time.
Go Abs.